Dutch, Mental Training 101. And now back to Get Warrior Tough with Andrew and Dutch. Dutch.
I love the Dutch button. All right, last segment. I'll try to calm it down a little bit, but this kind of stuff just drives me nuts because really lives are in the balance here. That EpiPen that's for real, dude.
Well, it's just the whole thing that we do these things that are unnecessary. When, the worst lies are the ones that were unnecessary, right?
Right.
All lies are wrong, but sometimes people, they lie out of fear. They're in a panic situation. They don't know what to expect. They're trying to, avoid some sort of pain. Yeah, so we lie.
Baby, do these pants make me look fat?
I ain't going there.
No, your fat makes you look fat. No, see, that's not that kind of lie, right? You're not talking about that kind.
Right, that's about that guy. Well, we can say, hey, man, I get it. But when you lie and it was unnecessary, that's when people really get messed up, man. And again, a place like Chipotle, people were really mad because of what they said. No one demanded that they have fresh vegetables and fresh ingredients and all that. No one demanded that.
No, we didn't make you do that, right?
Yeah, no one demanded that you say that. No one demanded that be your thing. You told us that was your thing. And I spent my money going there thinking that was your thing. Whatever my nutritional plan was, whatever my health guidelines were, I said, I'm going to choose Chipotle because they use fresh ingredients. I'm going to invest in that, right? It was completely unnecessary. So when you have a society that's built and that invests in things like that, man, it's bad. And when you get called on it, man, expect the worst as these companies are doing.
Right.
They're getting hit.
And this goes right back to what we say in our training in the Warrior Tough process. We all have a secret life, a private life, and a public life. And listen to me, hear me now, believe me later. Listen to right. Seriously, no kidding. Whatever goes on in secret will be public. It is just a matter of time, folks. So you have to work on the secret part. Work on your character, on your identity, and not your reputation and your image. Can I say that again, Dutch?
Please do.
We need to work on our identity and our character. Those are the internals. Stop worrying and working on your reputation and your image, your quote brand. Your image and your brand and your reputation should be a byproduct of you being true to your internal identity.
There's so much more substance. There's so much more stability. There's so much more meat when you build who you are from the inside out. There's so much protection. There's so much.
It's easy not to lie, Dutch, if you're transparent. It's easy.
Oh my goodness!
It's easy not to have to worry about an image problem. It's easy for me. You know what I don't have to do, Dutch? As the CEO of Mental Toughness Training Center, I don't have to go out and face a press conference and defend and blame others, and then try to come up with a different pricing plan to cover my mistake. Because that's not who I am. Who I am and who you are, Dutch. What we do, yet we charge money for what we do. And you know what? It's a tip. It's not even a 1% return on 1% of what you get out of it. I believe it's worth 100 times what you pay for it. And anybody that's gone through our program, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't have to try and walk that back because what we do is who we are. And we hold
ourselves accountable each and every event, each and every moment that we spend in front of others. We hold ourselves to. We don't say, did they get their money's worth? We say, did they get 100 times their money's worth?
Right.
Did they get 10 times their money? We go above and beyond intentionally, not happenstance, not accidentally. That's our goal, is to, when you walk out of there, you say, wow, I got way more than my money's worth.
Well, I've had other speakers and trainers tell me that. They're like, dude, you're giving them too much. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, man, you got to, because there always has to be a next step and a next step. I said, listen, man, I've got 5 years and I'm writing every day. I'm coming up with new stuff. There's new science out every day. We got 5 years of this stuff. I can never give them too much.
We've heard 30-year veterans. I always go back to the 30-year veterans who've been doing things in a certain industry, and they've had about 30 plus years of training, because, everyone goes through training. And they said what we do and what we did was the best that they'd ever seen. And then we're talking about very accomplished individuals.
Yeah.
It was
and not just one time, Dutch. Not just one time. We've got testimonials after another, in industry, across industry. And the reason is because everybody else out there is trying, I don't say everybody, but they're the practice in the industry is to come up with this cute little mission statement that sounds fluffy and then see what we could get away with. That's what most companies are doing.
When you include marketing with your mission statement, you're already in trouble. But marketing needs to be like a byproduct of what you said. Like it needs to be like a bonus. Like, wow, right, man, the fact that we're this is going to help us in marketing. Not let's market this, even though we're nowhere near that. That's where the danger comes in. If you are a certain way, believe me, marketing will be able to benefit and feed off of what you are and how you are. Don't go the other direction. Don't build it outside in. You're going to be in trouble.
Now, so here's my question. Why does that seem to be the standard? And this is why people are cynical. That's why we're always thinking, man, grab your wallet when, because this has been, the shortcut has been taken so many times in the past that our heuristic, our mental rule of thumb is to immediately think, oh, here we go. Like, you know what? There's nobody at this company that actually read this thing and took it to heart. There's impossible that anybody took this thing to heart and said, this is what we are. Maybe somebody down on the production line, the manufacturing line, maybe they read it and they're like, hey, and they were like, hey, shut up. If you want your job, you just go back on that line and be quiet. But nobody in leadership read this thing.
Nobody. Andrew, if you came to me from day one when we decided to do this venture and you came to me with a statement like that,
like, man, I'm out.
I'd have looked at you like you were crazy, first of all, because number one, I would have said, even if I'm out as a friend, I would say, Andrew, you can't live up to this, man. You're setting yourself up. Like somebody in that organization just said, all right, there's a meeting right now. Everyone get in here. I don't know about you guys, but I can't do this. This isn't me.
So here's a couple things. I'm just going to look at this is what I do is look at what their language is. But they said they would do whatever it takes. You've never heard me say do whatever it takes.
Never.
Because I'm not going to do anything that violates my identity. Then they said they're going to work round the clock. What do I say about how much sleep do we need, Dutch?
It matters. We have science backing up how much sleep you need.
You ain't never hear me. You never heard me say I'm working round the clock, man. I'm getting my 8, okay? Right?
We are believers. We are believers in that. And not only do we say it, we back it up with science. So we're not going to say, yeah, we're going to work round the clock so you can get what you want and get what you need. No, what you need and what you want should be included in you getting 8 hours of sleep.
Right. So, I mean, just those two things right there, like not going to happen. Oh, and by the way, I'm not crossing rivers. I mean, it may be in an airplane or a boat, but you're this one time, right? I was in Panama, and because I went through the combat swim instructors course. It was WSSI back in the Marine Corps day. Now it's MCIWS, I think. But I was designated the regimental scout swimmer. So they made me cross this river in Panama, and it's a river that has sharks in it, right? And I was like,
a river with sharks?
Yeah, and I'm like,
are they like tiger sharks? They must be
I don't know.
Shark, like
I don't know what it was with there, but there were sharks in that river, and yeah. I mean, I swam faster that day than any time in my life.
Look, I don't pretend to be wary of danger. And I'll tell a quick story. My buddy Mark Benjamin took me fishing in Charleston, and to make a long story short, we were in water, and I swim like a fish. I love swimming. And we're out there swimming. We get on the boat and we're fishing, having a good time. And so probably about an hour later, we're in the same area, as we were swimming. And I see a gator in the water. And I'm like, hey, man, that looks like a gator. And I'm like laughing because there's no way that can be a gator. It's obviously a log or something like that. He goes, nope, that's a gator. And he just keeps going on about his business. I'm like, hold on, man. No, that can't be a gator. He's like, what do you mean that can't be a gator? Because you had me swimming in this water earlier, just an hour ago. It's like, no, that's a gator. We trolled up closer to it. Sure enough, it was a gator. So he's like, man, what are you afraid of? I'm like, man, I was just swimming in that water. He's like, hey, man, that gator is more afraid of you than you are of it.
And you said,
I said, I doubt that, buddy. He got to be pretty darn terrified to even match the level of fear that I have from being in the water. Next day, we're out in the same part. We're fishing. We got a couple boats up with us, and we're partying and all that stuff. I noticed I'm the only one not in the water in the same spot where that gator was. Hey, man, you ain't got to tell me twice.
So you and me, we could just scratch this out, cross any river. That's not going to be a part of a Get Warrior Tough mission statement.
I'll cross any swimming pool to help you out, buddy. I'll cross any swimming pool.
I'll do it in a boat. I mean, round the clock.
Man,
that ain't happening.
What, it ain't that. Look, it ain't that hard, man. I tell you, you gotta.
I mean, why would you go so over the top with this? I just don't even get it, man.
So unnecessarily. We can have what we want. We can have all the things we desire and still stay within a reasonable space.
Right, of who you are, right?
Expectations and who you are. Like, oh, yeah.
Look, we don't even care. Like, does anybody? No one cared about Regeneron saying that we discover, invent, develop, manufacture, and commercialize medicines. Nobody even. I mean, there's like 2 paragraphs. Yeah, they get more. There wasn't any backlash. No, nothing, because they're congruent and they stayed in that space. Like you said, they didn't lie to us. They told us up front, and they're solving huge problems, man. They're solving huge problems, but they're also getting paid for it. And you know what? The people who had serious diseases, they're not minding it, but they're not getting gouged either. They're solving more problems, not just one problem, and then gouging people for that one problem because they didn't invent and innovate any other new thing.
Look, you can't get mad at me when I turn state's evidence on you when you did something wrong. When I told you ahead of time I was going to turn state's evidence on you if you did something wrong.
I'm telling you. I mean,
but you will get mad at me if I say, Andrew, I got your back through thick and thin, through crime,
no matter what, right?
Or anything, crime and punishment. I got your back, and then I don't have your back. You have the right to be mad at me,
yeah,
right?
Then I know where's Dutchie's in the witness protection program. I know, right? What's up with that? Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, we're beating up on this company, but listen, guys, it's not about that company. It's about every company and every individual not being congruent with an internal identity and not working on their character and that secret life and only trying to project a reputation and an image. And that's really the bottom line here, Dutch. Not about
So what? But let me ask you this, and this is a question that people have.
Yep.
We're talking about corporations and we're talking about people. What's the first day of training?
CEO of you, man.
CEO of you. You're the corporation. People.
Yep.
You're the corporation. So the same way these companies have these mission statements, these value statements, these statements of integrities, whatever you want to call it, because people call it different things, but it's all one thing. It's the identity statement, right?
Yep.
So the same way they have those things, you as the CEO of your corporation, Dutch Coleman in my case, Andrew Wittman in your case, you have those same statements and you have the same responsibilities. You have the same rights, but you have the same responsibilities when you make such claims that you may be called on it one day. Public, private, what's the other one?
Secret.
Secret. That's the big word.
Go work on your identity. Peace out.